Stoned Fox by Katherine Van Horn. Book by John Reynolds Gardiner. Covering chapters 1 through 3. Little Willie is 10 years old, and Searchlight is 10 too. Little Willie, Searchlight, and Grandfather live on a potato farm in Wyoming. Chapter 1. Grandfather. One day, Grandfather wouldn't get out of bed. Willie thought it was a trick. One time, Grandfather dressed as a scarecrow. Grandfather wouldn't get out of bed. He was not pretending. Willie ran to the doctor with Searchlight. Doc Smith thinks Grandfather is pretending. Willie told Doc Smith that Grandfather did not play his harmonica before going to bed. Doc Smith knew Grandfather was sick because he did not play his harmonica. Dr. Smith goes to see Grandfather. She says there's nothing wrong with him. He just doesn't want to live anymore. Little Willie does not understand. Chapter 2. Little Willie. Grandfather is getting worse, said Doc Smith 3 weeks later. Doc Smith says, let Mrs. Peacock, the caretaker, take care of Grandfather until he dies. Doc Smith said, let me take Searchlight to a farm that needs a work dog and come live with me. Willie screams, no, we're a family, and refuses to be separated. Searchlight barks and scares the doc's horse, Rex. Rex races off and Doc Smith puts her foot on the brake, but it did nothing. She left the farm. Chapter 3. Searchlight. Little Willie hugs Searchlight and says he will never give her away. Willie played the harmonica and Searchlight howled. Grandfather created a code with his hand because he refused to speak. Little Willie is going to harvest the potatoes all by himself. Willie needs a horse, but does not have money to rent a horse. A friend asks if he needs help, but Willie said no. Then he came up with a plan to use his college money, but Grandfather said no. Then Searchlight solves the problem. She stands outside with a harness in her mouth. Little Willie said, you do not have the power, Searchlight. Searchlight decided to pull the plow. Little Willie and Searchlight dig up the potatoes. Little Willie bags all the potatoes and stores them. Little Willie harvested the potatoes and sold them to Mr. Leeks all by himself. Little Willie shows the money to Grandfather. Grandfather cries and says no. That is not the answer to his problem. Winter is coming. Little Willie chopped enough wood and stored enough food. It was winter. That meant school time, but Little Willie did not mind because he liked school. Little Willie did all the chores when he got up in the morning. He lit the fire, made oatmeal, and fed it to Grandfather. He ate it, and so did Searchlight. Grandfather did not eat much. Little Willie had a sled made by the Indians. Searchlight pulled Little Willie and the sled every day to school. Searchlight loved to run. Every day, when the church clock struck 6, Searchlight would race home. She would go down Main Street, and Little Willie would have to hang on. When she saw Grandfather's farm, she would go on faster to get home. One day there was a man waiting at the door. After school, Searchlight and Little Willie ran the sled up and down Main Street. Willie liked to look at the people from the city. Grandfather called people from the city, city slickers. The end.